standout athletes. But first, let's get right to the action from tonight. And to do that, we begin at Idaho Falls High School. The Tigers hosting Rigby tonight. The Trojans looking to remain perfect on the young season. Pick things up in the third quarter. Rigby out front by 16, and they're going to extend their lead. Tate Pilatus with a nice take to the hoop. Trojans up 45-27. But Idaho Falls still had some fight in them. This is Max Carlson coming down with the rebound later in the third, and he puts it back up. Tigers still trail by 20. Rigby too strong in this one. Here's Tanner Chambers knocking down the triple shot. Trojans up 55-33. Then with 5 seconds left in the third, Dylan Jones grabs the deflected ball out of midair and puts it in. The Trojans remain perfect on the season as they win 76-51. As we continue our basketball coverage, Idaho Falls High School. Rigby just rolled over the Tigers in this one. And at the end of the third quarter, this is Dylan Jones taking the ball out of midair, and he lays it right in there. Rumor has it we did have a dunk in this game, but we don't have it on camera. So we have to apologize to all the Trojans fans out there. Rigby gets the win big in this one, 76-51.
But you know, if there is anyone out there who has the
video of the dunk. If you have that video,
we'd love to see it.
All right, our time's up. We'll have a good night.
More than 50 years of service to our communities. News, Press, and Gazette of Idaho.
Salem visiting Rigby. Trojans looking to remain perfect on the season. First quarter action, the Diggers going to jump out to an early lead. This is Ridge Spackman dropping the three ball. Sugar leads it 3-2. Now, how about some defense? Same score just a couple moments later, and Jason Hawk says not this time. That's a huge block on Austin Shippen. But the Trojans weren't going to be deterred. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Kamen McCullough going to hit on the triple shot. That breaks a tie as Rigby takes a 13-10 lead. And the Trojans would extend that lead at the end of the quarter. Dylan Jones knocks down the tray ball. That gave Rigby a 20-11 advantage at the end of the first. That's where we would leave them. We don't have a final score yet for some high school hoops. The undefeated Rigby Trojans visited the Hive tonight to take on the Bonneville Bees, and Bonneville put up a fight early on. This is Riley Roberry with the sweet pass inside to Joel Carter. He finishes it off, and the Bees lead 4-3. Then check out this highlight. After the steal, the Trojans give it up to Kamen McCullough, and he throws it down. The nice two-handed slam. We were tied at 10 after the first quarter. But Bonneville wouldn't be deterred. Jared Stutzman sinks the smooth fadeaway, and the Bees had themselves a 1-point lead over one of the top teams in the state. Rigby answers, though. 2 minutes to go in the half. McCullough drains the three ball to give the Trojans the lead. Rigby was up by 1 at halftime, and they go on to get the victory, 56-37.
Now, it's Sports Line with Jeff Landers.
The Rigby boys basketball team finished 2011 with 7 straight wins to start the year. Now that it's 2012, the Trojans look to keep their winning streak going tonight. Rigby played host to Skyline. The Grizz are 4-4 on the season. First quarter, Skyline trailing, but not for too long. Tyson Dennert finds Henry Russell with the nice pass. Grizz would tie the game at 6 on their next possession. Later in the quarter, it's Rigby's turn for some good passing. Kamen McCullough finds his buddy John Raheen Peoples with a nice look, and Peoples finishes it off. We're tied at 10. The Grizz would take the lead going into halftime. Here's more from Russell. He knocks down the mid-range jumper. Grizz were up 29-24 at the break. However, Rigby would win this one 64-61 to remain perfect on the year.
Head to Rigby, where the Blackfoot Broncos are playing, and a Red Heart Trojans, and it's a packed house, which is always a plus. We catch the game in the third quarter. Blackfoot, Paul Cannon bringing up the ball, showing his good moves, and drops the little jumper. Rigby coming back down. Kamen McCullough on the fast break. Dylan Jones lays it in for 2. More Rigby moving the ball very well, dishing down low. Tate Pilatus, he lays it in. All Rigby tonight. McCullen with the long pass to the corner. Tanner Chambers, who launches it from downtown, nothing but net. And Rigby rolls past the Broncos, 73-39.
Well, if the Rigby boys basketball team wanted to remain perfect on the season, the Trojans would have to go through their biggest rival tonight on their home floor. Rigby hosted Madison. The Trojans beat the Bobcats in Rexburg the last time they faced each other. Start in the first quarter, Madison jumping out front. Riker Pierce grabs the board in midair and puts it back in. Bobcats led 18-9 after 1 quarter of play. To the second, Madison keeping its foot on the gas, and you don't see this every day. Jacob Wilson banks in the three ball. The Bobcats would lead 24-23 at the half, but in the third, Rigby would take its first lead of the day. Kamen McCullough finds Dallin Polson down low. He puts it home. Trojans take a 25-24 advantage. but it wouldn't be enough in the end. Here's more from Riker Pierce as he hits the triple shot. That tied the game at 29. And Madison hands Rigby its first loss of the season. 50-47 is the final.
For this newscast, but don't go away, because Sportsline with Jeff Landers starts now.
Right now. Hello and welcome to Sportsline, Idaho's best local sports show. I'm your host, Jeff Landers, and I'll be joined shortly by Justin Betty. He's got some exciting high school basketball action coming your way, and we'll have some highlights from day one of the Tiger Grizz Wrestling Tournament. Plus, we'll be joined by former South Fremont standout and current Kansas City Chief defensive lineman Brandon Bear. We're going to talk some playoff football. But first, we begin with some high school basketball. The Rigby Trojans hosting the Idaho Falls Tigers tonight. Rigby has just one loss all season while the Tigers are searching for some badly needed wins. Starting the third, Rigby already out front, and they're going to add to that lead as John Peoples makes the strong move inside. Trojans up 35-27. But the Tigers would come back to cut their deficit to within 3 when Daniel Craig knocks down the triple shot. Idaho Falls trails 35-32. Move to the fourth quarter, Rigby beginning to pull away. Kamen McCullough's on the break, and he pulls up from 18 feet. Trojans out front 47-34. Later in the fourth, Tigers still putting forth an effort as Stephen Hart comes up with the big block here, but it wouldn't be enough. In the end, the Trojans down Idaho Falls 61-43.
Trojan horse, where the Rigby Trojans are hosting the Idaho Falls Tigers. The Tigers have a unique opportunity to show the world just how far they've come as a team. Now, these two teams met earlier. Let's say it didn't go the way the Tigers had hoped. Tonight, they'll be looking for revenge here in the Trojan horse. Philo T. Farnsworth, Mark Browning, and you can add Jacob Campbell to the list of Trojans with crazy TV skills. Thanks for your help with the stand-up row. And you can't do a Rigby highlight without saying the name Dylan Jones. The 6'6" senior is having a monster game in this one. But guess what? The Tigers have a beast in the middle as well. Casey Davis, the 6'9" senior, gets it done in the paint. But we're going back to Dylan Jones. Nice pass there. And again, Dylan Jones all over the place. He's going to get another basket, creating his own shot, and then taking a nice free slip and slide right. And the scary thing about the Trojans is they are deep. John Raheem Peoples, or as I like to call him, the Calico Cat, he takes it in. And the Trojans complete the sweep of the Tigers with a 61-43 win.
Hello and welcome to Sportsline, the state of Idaho's best local sports show. I'm your host, Jeff Landers, and I'll be joined shortly by Michelle Ludka. She's got a ton of great stuff coming your way as we've got a full lineup tonight. But first, we begin with some high school basketball. The Rigby Trojans lead the way in the 4A standings. They were in Blackfoot tonight to take on the Broncos. Right to the action. Kamen McCullough firing off the long ball. Count it. But Blackfoot comes right back. Trey Pilster making plays himself. Drives, throws it up, and it's in for 2. But Rigby coming back, going from the top of the key. It's Tanner Chambers left wide open, nailing the three-pointer. Broncos playing tough. Pilster dumps down low to Gabby Maldonado, so he scores for 2. Great teamwork there. More from Blackfoot. Keith Moore showing that he has the range, putting down the three-pointer, but it's all Trojans tonight. McCullough, he's going to stop here and pop the 3. It goes down, and so do the Broncos tonight as they fall to Rigby 71-60.
Rigby, how about this before the game? A marriage proposal. That's right. I love proposals at sporting events. I know a lot of girls don't, but if I'm not the one being proposed to or doing the proposing, I think it's great. And by the way, I believe she said yes. If she's wearing the finger or the ring on her finger, we'll say that she said yes. Let's get to the highlights, shall we? Kamen McCullough plays for the Trojans, and he's got a 3 to knock down. Shelley can get 3 as well. Will Higham knocks down the triple. Where's Will at? There he is in the corner. He hits it, but it's the Trojans who get the victory tonight. They win by double digits over the Russets. Hillcrest and Bonneville. It's the Civil War at the Hive is where we're going to go.
One more game to show you tonight. Rigby at Wood River. The Trojans striking first. That is a deep three from Rigby. Wood River tries to answer. The home team going to get the and one inside, but not nearly enough on this evening. The Trojans too powerful. They win it 73-29 over Wood River.
Let's go to Rigby, where the second-seeded Trojans tipped off with the Hillcrest Knights. Third quarter, here's another former athlete of the week, Cayman McCullough. He takes it strong to the hole, and the Trojans out front by 14. But the Knights would cut it to 10 later in the quarter, and that's helping to do that is Tanner Austin. He spans and knocks down the jumper. Knights trail 42-30. Go to the fourth. Trojans keeping their foot on the gas. They're working in transition, and Dylan Jones finishes it off. Rigby advances with a 64-43 victory over Hillcrest. And
now,
some other...
it's Sportsline with Jeff Landers.
The Rigby and Madison boys basketball teams split their regular season matchups, each winning on the road. Tonight, the two teams got together for round number 3. This one would be a heavyweight bout as Madison hosted Rigby in Rexburg. Would the road team strike again in the series? Start in the first quarter. Trojans jumping out front to an 11-point lead. Cayman McCullough drives the lane for the deuce. Rigby led by 9 after the first. Now go to the third. Madison trying to get back into it. Time winding down. Lyle Sutton banks home the triple shot. And Madison pulls within one, 36-35. But the Trojans would be just too strong in the fourth quarter. Dylan Jones knocks down the elbow jumper. And Rigby downs Madison 54-43 is your final from Rexburg.
Now we can't forget about boys high school basketball. The District 6 4A championship has yet to be decided.
That's right. The Rigby Trojans and Madison Bobcats tipped off for the right to claim the district title tonight. It was a packed house tonight in Rigby for the 4th meeting in the season between the two teams. Both the Bobcats and Trojans looking to walk out with the W. First quarter, Rigby comes out on fire. Tanner Chambers goes long for the 3, brings down the house, making it look so pretty. Coming right back, it's fellow Trojan Cayman McCullough making it rain from beyond the arc, putting on his 3 glasses. But Madison would stay in it. Logan Lee goes left for the layup, but goes a little high. Good thing teammate Robert Thusen is in the perfect spot, back up and in for 2 more. Because the Bobcats, well, this time Thusen goes outside and is left alone for the open 3. Count it. The Bobcats make it a tighter race. Now Rigby giving everything they've got. Austin Shippen dishes down low to big man John Peoples, who puts up the high layup and kisses it off the glass for 2. And Rigby again, McCullough lets it fly from the cheap seats. He gets the friendly bounce, and it's good for 3. And the Trojans get the big win tonight against rival Madison, 58-43. Third most ridiculous moment of the night, we have to go to Rigby, where the Trojans hosted the Madison Bobcats. This is Cayman McCullough, and not only is the bank open for this 3-point shot, but he also gets the shooter's roll. You might just call that ridiculous. Rigby wins and takes home the district championship. So another great week of ridiculous plays.
And license plates in the parking lot tonight, hoping the Madison Bobcats could steal the district title away from Rigby. The Trojan fans, though, they have other ideas. We go north and ride the wave with the Rigby student section. Tanner Chambers wears that home jersey, and he is going to hit a 3 right about here. Guess what? We're up double digits, 15 if you're a Rigby fan. Madison answers. Riker Pierce to the hoop. Lay it up, lay it in. But it was all Trojans from there. Cayman McCullough to Dylan Jones inside. Fight on with me as Tanner Chambers finds John Ream Peoples. Look how nice of a bounce pass. That bounce pass was the theme of the Rigby offense as we watch this. Low angle is where we go. Let's get fancy. It's not a bounce pass. It's called a lob. Austin Shippen, Scott Meacham. Yes, sir. The fans say, I believe, not that we will win, it's I believe that we have won. The girls basketball team is right there in the front row to cheer on their fellas. I'll have the Trojan shirts in the stands. Everybody's ready to party, including Dylan Jones. You get the shot of the band because I was in the band. Cue up the fight song because the Rigby Trojans are district champions, 58-43. They win this one. They'll be over in Boise coming up next week.
Day one of the state tournament is done, and several teams have made it through and are headed to the semifinals. Starting at the 4A level, district champions Rigby taking on Jerome, and the Trojans, they jump out front first. Check out John Peoples working hard inside to get the 2. Then it'd be Tate Pilatus. He works his way through the paint, making it look easy, driving it home, hooks it in, and the Trojans, they have absolutely no problem with Jerome. Rigby moves on with the 47-28 victory. Continuing with the 4A, I'm your host, Michelle Ledka, and I promise you won't be sorry for staying in this Friday night. We've got a full lineup tonight with coverage straight out of Boise of the Boys State Basketball Tournament, plus a look into both the ISU men's and women's squad on how they're preparing for the upcoming Big Sky tournaments. But let's not waste any more time and jump straight into our basketball highlights, because I know you're all probably dying to hear how our Eastern Idaho teams are doing at the conclusion of Day 2. Let's kick off the night at the 4A semifinals matchup between Rigby and Jerome, and the Trojans, they're busting out of the gate or the locker room, excited to hit the court. And you can better believe it that they get on the board first thanks to this beauty by Cayman McCullough from beyond the arc. 3-0 lead Rigby. But Moscow, they fight back, taking the lead here thanks to that 3. But the Trojans, they go on a 6-0 run from there. John Peoples gets inside, and Rigby retakes the lead by 1. Then check out this dunk you won't see anywhere else. That's Cayman McCullough with the throwdown. Love to see those moves as Rigby moves forward to the championship game with a final score of 58-53. Now, as we continue our state basketball coverage, at the 4A level, it's an Eastern Idaho battle for the title game. In fact, it's been a battle that's been raging all season long. For that, we bring in Jeff Landers. Jeff?
The state championship game is the 5th meeting of the season between Rigby and Madison. The Bobcats have only won 1 of the 4 previous matchups. Now, the first 2 games of this series were decided by 3 points in each game, but then Rigby really took off, and they won the final 2 games of this series by an average of 13 points. But you know what? Everybody wanted to see a good game and the state title matchup this afternoon. Madison is the defending state champion. Could Rigby dethrone the Bobcats? Starting the first quarter, Cayman McCullough with the sweet crossover. He then finds Dallin Polson for the bucket. We would be tied at 8 after the first. Move to the second quarter. Madison keeping pace. Cash Merrill hits the foul line jumper. Count it. He would miss the free throw, though. We are tied at 10. Later in the second, Rigby pulling away. Tanner Chambers working on the fast break. He gets the layup. Trojans led 25-18 at the half. Move to the third quarter. Dylan Jones picks up 2 of his game-high 15 as he knocks down the J. Trojans up by 9. But the Cats, they pull within 4. To start the fourth quarter, the captain, Riker Pierce, spins and finishes with the left hand. He had 10 points on the night. However, Rigby would just be too strong in this one. Polson slips inside for the old-fashioned 3-point play. Rigby wins 56-49. It's their first state championship in 26 years.
It's amazing. You always dream of this. And the most is so happy for these kids. And they've fought for it every day in practice, and to find the way and just make it happen is awesome. So I'm so happy for the team.
How does it feel to beat your biggest rival in the state championship game, the Madison Bobcats?
It's just what you dream of ever since you're a little kid. I mean, you want that setup, and we were very fortunate to come across the Bobcats in the state championship game.
Michelle, back to you.
Thanks, Jeff. Also in action today,
the 4A basketball season, and hanging out with some of my favorite Rigby Trojan fans. Their team looking to steal away the state title from their bitter enemy, the Madison Bobcats. Bobcats have the tradition and the titles right now. These Trojan fans want to steal that away. Rigby looking for their first title since 1987. Madison has hung 5 banners since then. And believe me when I say the Bobcat fans knew that stat and were ready to rattle it off. How about Dallin Polson winning first basket bingo? Back and forth, these 2 teams would go the entire first quarter. Nobody led by more than 2 in the first frame. That's Tate Pilatus on the hoop. Then Dylan Jones inside, Rigby up 2. But Madison would answer. Logan Anderson, right place, right time. Put it up and put it back in. How about this play near the end of the first? Cayman McCullough, cross you over. He drops the dime to Dallin Polson. We get another look at it because that is filthy good on the head fake. He'd have a lot of assists in this one. Wood Kamen were tied up at 8 after the first quarter of play. In the second frame, the Trojans would seize control. They'd outscore Madison 17-10. Dylan Jones with the triple, and then defense turning into offense. Tate Pilatus looks like he's beat, or is he? He's got the rejection of Riker Pierce. We're headed the other way. Dylan Jones on the finish. It's part of a 15-5 run for Rigby. Oh my, the student section was fired up. They said, show me that play again. You'll get to see it. Absolutely, this time in slow motion. Pilatus teaching a lesson in rejection. Look at him get right back and into the right position. An absolutely clean block. And then quickly the other direction go the Trojans offense. The guys in the maroon jerseys led this thing by 7 at the halftime break, but both teams shooting under 40% from the field. At halftime, we get to see the Madison cheerleaders perform their district winning routine. They looked like they were having so much fun that I figured I'd go over and join them. Crowd surfing alert, the loudmouth golf pants, the bright green and purple getting a ride through the student section. Look out, please don't drop me. We nearly go down. We're going backwards through the Madison kids. We'd be all right. And when you're safely on the ground after going through the crowd surf, well, you might as well celebrate. Oh yeah, thank you for the ride, Bobcats. We move on now. Let's go to the third quarter. Both offenses would pick things up. Riker Pierce had 10 points. He's strong to the hoop. Then Logan Lee, strong drive to the hoop himself. Team high 12 points. It's Lee again. This time when he gets the friendly roll, Madison is down just 5 points. But Rigby would answer. You force Austin Shippen left. Well, he's going to take that and put it right in. Tate Pilatus had 10 points. He's going to hit the 3. And oh boy, here come the fans. They can sense it. 6-point lead going into the fourth quarter. In that final frame, Madison with their last push. Riker Pierce with the spin cycle. 36-32 Rigby with 7 minutes left. But the Trojans decided enough was enough. Tate Pilatus there. Then Austin Shippen to Dylan Jones. Game high 15 points. Kamen McCullough also in double figures. He had 12. He's got the corner tray, 12 points, 5 rebounds, and that's my brother right there, said the fans in the stands. Dallin Polson finishes us off. He's outworking everyone. 13 points and 12 rebounds. He had a fantastic game. Rigby starting to realize that there's going to be a banner hanging in their gym coming up very, very soon. A final highlight, Kamen McCullough had 8 assists, drops it inside to Dallin Polson. Cue up the queen because we are the champions. We'll be playing loudly at Rigby High School. The drought is over. The first championship since 1987. They finished the year 24-2 and is state champions.
Oh, the feeling is incredible. Oh my gosh, we've always dreamed about this for years.
It feels great. Like you said, we flexed our muscles throughout the whole game, and we held our composure.
We've always dreamed of this as Rigby, as the team, and it all started our freshman year when we split the title with Madison in our freshman year, and ever since then we've always felt that we could do this.
First off, our team together, we're the strongest team in Idaho, and defense. That's all we work on, practice, defense, defense, defense.
The 25-year drought comes to an end as the Rigby Trojans beat their bitter rivals, the Madison Bobcats, 56-49. Rigby is your 4A state champions.
Jeff Landers.
With the state championships behind us, it's time for the kids to just have some fun out there on the basketball court. And the 6th District provided that tonight with its all-star event. And we start with the slam dunk contest. First, Chase Brewington gets us going with this nice two-handed finish. He'd earned 19 points, but that wouldn't be enough to get him into the finals. Next, we have Rigby's Cayman McCullough. He tosses it up and throws it down. That's good for 43 points in the first round, sending him to the finals. Speaking of the finals, let's go there. This is Idaho Falls' Casey Davis, and he goes with the sweet one-handed reverse dunk. He'd earned 16 points on that one. Next up, this is Rigby's Dylan Jones, our athlete of the week, and he's going to try to jump over teammate Austin Shippen. Doesn't quite make it, but still an awesome effort there. And finally, let's get back to McCullough, his final attempt of the night. He throws it up, then goes under the hoop and puts it home. What a dunk. Great stuff from everybody in the dunk contest. Now we can't. And there was a co-ed three-point contest tonight. Over 15 pairs entered to show their sharp shooting skills, but it would be Rigby's tandem of Erica Barris and Tanner Chambers who bring home the gold in the three-point contest. They made a total of 17 three balls. Well, to the victor goes the spoils, and today the boys 4A basketball champions were honored in Rigby. The school held an assembly this morning to honor the state champs. Players told Sportsline that it feels amazing, and the realization of winning the state championship hasn't really sunk in yet. And head coach Justin Jones has an interesting story about the championship trophy and the ride home from Boise.
On the way home from Boise, we just took turns in the bus. Everybody just got to kind of hold it and take that moment. We got home at 3:30, and the trophy didn't ever sit once by itself. The team just so, honored and proud that this really did happen, that we accomplished a great feat, and reality is kind of finally starting to set in.
The boys team wasn't the only group of Trojans to be honored at the assembly this morning. The school also recognized the girls team, which came in second place in the state, and the wrestling team. Coulter Tucker won the state championship at the 4A 182-pound weight class on the mats, and he thinks it was a great winner to be a Trojan.
It's kind of nice because a lot of this year, the boys basketball team and the girls basketball team and the wrestling team, we've all started supporting each other, and we've all tried to get each other to go to our events and stuff, and we've tried to up each other as much as possible. Whenever they came back from a game or something, we'd always tell them good job, and I think that's really put in a lot of help into our athletics, because it goes to show how much we each boost each other up and help each other out, even though they're not actually out there on the court or the mat or whatever.
So it's really nice to see all that camaraderie among athletes. Sometimes you have those cliques in high schools, the wrestling, the girls basketball, the boys basketball team, but it seemed like this winter, Rigby really was one athletic department among all the teams.
Shows a lot of character, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Welcome back to Sportsline, Idaho's top-rated local sports show. I'm now joined by Rigby head coach and members of the boys basketball team. They are the 4A state champions. This is Dylan Jones right here to my right, Cayman in the middle, and Coach Jones out there on the far right. And guys, we're here to talk about about your state championship. Congratulations, by the way. We want to wish you, congratulations from the sports line here. But Dylan, let me start with you. What was the journey like for the Rigby Trojans?
It was a good journey. It really started our freshman year. As kids, we went through it, went strong. And then last year we had kind of a rough year, and then we got to this year, and at the beginning of the year we all realized this could be our freshman year again, so let's go out and do it. And so we started there, and then every game we just got better and better and focused on our defense and just played the best that we could.
And talk to me a little bit more about that ride. You guys didn't have very many downs. What was the season like for you guys?
It was one game at a time. We just went out, played one game at a time, just played for what we could and gave everything we could every night and for that one game. And then after that game, we'd go on to our next one.
All right. And let's move on to Coach Jones. You only lost 2 games all season long, your second matchup with Madison and your second matchup with Hillcrest. After losing those 2 games, it was 2 games in 2 out of 3 games that you lost, those 2 games.
How was your focus sharpened after losing those 2 games?
A lot of respect to our conference, some great teams, and during those 2 games we realized that anybody could beat us if we weren't playing our best. So it was a nice wake-up call for us, kind of shock us a little bit to get ready for the last part of the season, and we ended up winning 11 straight to finish the season.
All right, and let me stick with that line of questioning here. You said a lot of respect to your conference. Is it that this is the best conference at 4A in the state?
Personally, in my view, I'd have to say yes. Going out to state and seeing Madison in that championship game against us, and looking at Shelley and Hillcrest definitely could be contenders out there as well, so yes.
All right, and one more question for Coach Jones while I'm thinking about it. Those 2 games, what was wrong with those 2 games, with the Trojans over those 2 games, and how did you fix that?
Got a little bit of our focus we lost on the defensive end. I think Hillcrest scored 60 that night, and we'd been holding teams to 45. So kind of got away from what we do. And after those games, we were to come together and refocus on our defense. And in the end, that's what won us the state championship. We're the best defensive team in the state. So.
All right, and let's go to Cayman. You played against Madison 5 times this season. Talk to me about that rivalry over the first 4 games. We'll get to the state championship in a second. What did you learn about Madison over those first 4 games that you played them?
The main thing we had to learn is that you have to respect them. They're really solid, and if you want to beat the Bobcats, you have to contain Riker Pierce. And I think, personally, Tate Palatis did a great job holding him under 20 points. I think he had him at 11, 2 of the 5 games, and he did a great job on him.
All right, and when you play a team 5 times in a season, you really get to know them. Again, you said Riker Pierce. What else was there about the Bobcats that you really had to focus in on?
Logan Lee did a great job. He stepped up this year. We kind of didn't know much about him, but he came out and he played hard. And the first couple of games, we had to scout him so we could be ready for him in the state tournament.
All right, now the next questions are for both Dylan and Cayman. Let's talk about that championship game. You learned a lot against Madison. How did you use what you learned against the Bobcats in the championship game? And we'll start with Dylan.
We learned that we got to play hard-nosed D the whole time because they're going to play hard-nosed D on their side of the court. So if we played hard-nosed D, then and just go hard, that if we contain them hard enough and we could just take our defensive effort and put it on our offensive end, that we could beat them and just score on them. So.
All right, and Cayman, what do you want to add to that?
Again, just Riker Pierce. He's a great player, and we respect him a lot. If you can hold him under his average amount of points per game, you have a better chance at winning than if he goes off for 30 points.
All right, and you guys were rooting for Madison in the semifinals because you wanted to play them. What was it like? What was the team's mentality when you found out that you would play Madison in the state championship game?
We had to look back at when they beat us on our home court, and we used that to our advantage. We remember that more than any other game that we had lost, and we just came out and played hard.
Dylan?
Like Cayman said, that chip on our shoulder of that loss at home, because we knew we didn't come out and play that game like we should have, and so that had a chip on our shoulder, and then seeing that they won that semifinal game gave us that chip on our shoulder. We can go out and play them one more time and finish it off with a W.
All right, and as seniors, how does it feel to go out on top now that you're state champions? Cayman?
It feels great. Coming out as a state champion, you're very fortunate, and to play against your rivals is even better. It's kind of like a dream, and it's a way to go out.
And what's next for you, Dylan? What are you up to?
I'm going to serve a 2-year mission this fall. I'm going to leave on my mission and then hopefully come back and play ball when I get back from my mission.
All right, and Cayman, what's up next for you?
I'm just planning on going to college as well.
Do you know where yet?
Not sure.
But you told us before the show, as you were sitting here in the studio, you want to be a dentist. Is that what you really want to do?
That's correct. Yep, I want to be a dentist.
All right. Do you know what you want to do, Dylan?
No, I haven't set my plans yet. I'm still open on doing whatever comes up when I get to college. So.
All right, and let's move on to Coach Jones. One last question before we go, Coach. You're graduating these 2 players. They were huge. You got a core group of seniors on that team. how difficult is it going to be for Rigby to do this again with the juniors and the sophomores that are coming up to varsity this year?
Definitely going to be tough when you lose the leadership in Dylan and Cayman and the team togetherness and what this team has done. It'll be tough, but we got a couple big guys back. John Raheem Peoples is back, Clayton Iglinski, and a couple other younger guards. So the making is there. It might take a little while, but we'll be competitive next year for sure.
All right, and competitive in one of the best conferences in the state for sure. All right, those are the Rigby Trojans. We want to thank everybody for joining me here on Sportsline, and congratulations on your state championship once again. Really, guys, we enjoyed following you all season long.
Well, thank you. You do an awesome job.
All right, coming up a little later in the show, we're going to show you the most ridiculous dunks of the season. You don't want to miss these. Sportsline is coming right back.
Everybody go.